Everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series. Hope you guys are having a good day. I am your host, Jim Masters, of course, aptly named after the show. Or maybe I came before the show. However it works, it's so nice to have you here. And thanks to everybody for the love and the support of what we're doing here on the show, bringing back the Lost Art of Conversation with extraordinary guests who are coming in from all over the world to entertain, inspire, educate, and have some fun with us. Our guest right now is actually on location because she's performing this weekend. She's coming to us from Asbury Park, New Jersey. She's on the East Coast performing, and we've got lots of great conversation, terrific entertainment, and live music too. She's going to perform with a special surprise bonus guest who's going to be coming on our show with our very special guest, illustrious, acclaimed singer, songwriter, composer, cinema veteran. She's a film noir buff and so much more. Leslie Evers is absolutely amazing, and she has been doing this for a long time. Matter of fact, her musical journey began during her childhood, where she cultivated her songwriting skills in both piano and guitar. And in the late 1990s, she embarked on formal guitar studies, followed by banjo studies as well in 2010. And in 2014, Leslie made her debut on the music scene with her critically acclaimed album, I Can't Remember My Dreams, which included a track that soared to number 3 on the Billboard Folk DJ charts. Now, there's something exciting too, another reason why we are celebrating this fabulous artist. And we were just having a great conversation seconds ago, and we were doing a sound check behind the scenes. You know, sometimes with our guests, we always do sound checks and things of that nature. But just to tell you a little bit more about our very special guest, she has a new album that is out. Yes, acclaimed contemporary folk artist Leslie Evers is excited to unveil her second album, which is Bound for Land. And that is set for release in February of 2024 under the banner of Cumulus Records. And the album promises to captivate audiences with its unique blend of acoustic folk, Americana, and American songbook influences. This is really going to be something absolutely special. And there it is on the screen for you folks. This is coming soon. We're very excited to give you an exclusive preview here on the show. And of course, her other acclaimed album is this one here, which we mentioned, I Can't Remember My Dreams. If you haven't picked this one up yet, it is spectacular. She is a wonderful artist. She loves what she does. And we are so excited to have her here. Again, she's on location, Asbury Park. You know, a lot of great artists have come from Asbury Park. I believe Bruce Springsteen, and so many others. So let's welcome, for the first time, and I'm sure not the last, great conversation, great chat, great levity, and entertainment with our very special guest joining us, Leslie Evers, here in the house, coming to us from Asbury Park. Leslie, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. Awesome to have you here today.
Hi, Jim. It's a thrill for me.
I appreciate that. I know you've been very excited, and we've been excited to have you here as well. Now, as I mentioned, you are on the East Coast now because you're doing some performances there in Asbury Park, New Jersey, huh?
Well, I'm attending a folk conference, which is a gathering of like-minded musicians where we get together, we perform for each other in hotel rooms. Some of us are on stages, and we trade songs and network and meet venue owners, DJs, and each other mainly. And it's a wonderful buzz here. And it's so inspiring because there's so many great writers here. And a lot of us, people who write, often are just sequestered off by themselves doing their thing. And so it's good for us. It's good for me particularly to hear what other people are doing. And I'm always bowled over by the level of talent available. It just makes me think how many other people are out there that should be showing what they can do.
Yes, right. I agree 110%. Absolutely right. Yeah. You know, you and I were chatting before we did the sound check that you've done some study in addition to the fabulous music background. And for folks tuning in, they're going to perform. There's a special guest sort of hidden in another room that's going to be joining us in before you know it. It's really exciting. It's going to accompany Leslie as they perform some tunes for us. But film is big for you too. You are a cinema veteran. Tell us about your background in cinema and entertainment, in addition to and in collaboration with music as well.
Sure. Yeah. I started out, I've always been a musician, but just closeted. I've always written songs, but I always kept them secret. And when I graduated from college, I went to film school and started work in the entertainment business in Hollywood, working on movies, working for studios. I worked for TriStar Pictures. I worked for Blake Edwards. I worked for Bob Rafelson. And I functioned as a support person. I started out as a production assistant, like so many other people, and I worked as a story editor, script consultant. So I was able to use my writing skills, and that is mainly what I did. I would look at the scripts and suggest changes, and sometimes people wouldn't want those, but
Right.
But I did a lot of. I've met a lot of interesting people, I would say. So I'm used to being around actors, musicians, people in the limelight. And I got really cool about it. Like I don't get excited when a celebrity walks in the room like I would have when I was 16 years old.
Oh, yeah.
But those days are kind of behind me. I don't work in Hollywood anymore. I do some independent producing. Small independent films, documentaries. I have a lot of creative friends who make film, so I help them out sometimes.
Do any music for them?
I don't. Not yet. No. But just functioning as executive producer on a few projects, and I'm a grown up now, so I do the grown up things.
Right.
I do still, like everybody else, I love film. I love television, and I binge watch, and I go to the movies, and I'm obsessed with film. I never stop being obsessed with it. I just stopped depending on it for a living, I think.
What are some of your favorites? A couple of favorites all time of films.
Oh, all time? Well, my favorite recent is Barbie. I loved Barbie. And I wasn't sure about it because I thought, well, how much depth can there be?
Right.
But in fact, I thought it was fantastic. It felt like the old-fashioned myth of the eternal being wanting to experience humanity. And that is many, many films. I could name some fancy European films, or there's Pinocchio.
Even Frosty the Snowman, he comes to life for a while, then he goes back to being a snowman. Wanted to experience what it was like being, human, right?
Right. And that's essentially what that film is. So I felt that it was very deep, touching, even though it had this kind of glossy, childlike, thing. I thought it was great, and I could see why it made a fortune.
It did, right?
I'm looking forward to The Holdovers, which is that new Alexander Payne film starring Paul Giamatti. I cannot wait to see that. And in terms of all-time favorites, well, I have to say I love Seven Samurai by Akira Kurosawa. I love Casablanca. I love The Wizard of Oz.
I knew you were gonna. I was hoping you'd list that one. Yeah.
Well, I'm just like everybody else. I love popular film. I'm not a big snob.
And the production value and just the color and the music and the idea of it is exceptional, right?
Well, it was a very popular book, and my mother is older now, and she's not as well as she used to be. And I'll tell you, but she never gets tired of watching that movie.
Yeah.
And
it's hopeful. Yeah.
It's hopeful, and the music in it is so extremely beautiful.
Yeah.
It just touches people on a very, very deep level.
Somewhere over the rainbow, and absolutely.
Yeah.
If I only had a brain. I mean, all of
Well,
these,
we can all
right?
relate to
You
that.
know, or a heart, or courage, courage.
Well, I think we all have heart. I think we all have heart, but sometimes we're missing with the intelligent response
Right.
or, the courage to do what we
Yeah.
want to do.
Think before you hit send, those things.
There's a feature on the iPhone which is very useful that allows you to think about your email for 30 seconds before it goes out.
Wow.
It's a
Wow. So
delay.
it gives
And
you
I've
time to renege it and say, maybe not.
Mhm,
Let me
mhm.
reword that, right?
I've used it a lot in the last month.
So music was concurrent to the film and the television. Was music always a part of your life? And did you hone the skills and really develop it as you went along?
Yes, absolutely. I am relatively new to the scene as a performer, but as a writer and as somebody who has been studying the craft, people
Mm,
use that word a lot,
yeah.
overuse it, I think. But as somebody who's studied structure and melody and poetry and all the things that go into making a song, I've been doing that, almost from toddlerhood. I've always put words and music together and have written many, many songs, and I'm sure many of them are not worth airing, but it's but they're definitely worth having done because when you do anything well, you've done it a million times before. Some people are automatically just great off the bat. I don't
Mm,
think. I mean, I think I had a certain aptitude, but I don't think I was one of those geniuses that was good right away. I wasn't Paul McCartney, but I did work very hard at it, and for no reward other than just the doing of it. It gave
yeah.
and gives me so much pleasure. It's like having a little friend with you that you can talk to, and that friend
Yes.
is yourself.
Is yourself,
Yeah,
right? And you've
yeah.
been influenced strongly by sort of the American roots and old time music, as well as the melodies and themes enjoyed from the great American songbook, right?
Absolutely. It's thinking about, I mean, New York has always been a huge influence in my life. My mother was born and raised in New York City.
Mm.
She went to all of the shows, the
Oh,
famous shows when they, in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. And she went to everything and saw Ethel Merman and Carol
mm,
Channing and
mhm.
all the people. And so we had all these albums at home, My Fair Lady, and the Music Man and Annie Get Your Gun, and so those melodies, the strong melodies, they get inside you, and once they're inside you, they come out, and so that was the first influence, and then later in life, I started studying old time country music, and things that were a little bit less elaborate, and I found those equally compelling because that's also our American
It's
culture.
part of the vernacular, exactly. Who were some of
It
the
is.
artists that you enjoyed that you were either researching, learning about, or that you just enjoyed anyway?
For old time music,
Yeah.
well, I would say my biggest influence are people who are living today and practicing today. I used to sing in kind of a certain way, and I started listening to old time singers, and I got that kind of in my ear. There's a singer named Kate Brislin, who she and her husband Jody Stecker are old time musicians, and they sing old music. And the way that they do it it's so unaffected, and it is so compelling because it is simple, and it's straight and it's pure. The tone is so pure. And after I started studying with him and started listening to her a lot, I attempted to I wanted that sound. I wanted as little affectation in my voice as possible. And so a lot of people are trying to learn ornamentations and sing in a very elaborate style, and I think I would probably enjoy that too. And I'd have to work very hard at it because you have to work hard at everything.
Everything,
But I
yes.
really just like singing simple. And I like to sing so people can hear the words
Mm,
because the words are very important to me.
yeah.
And if you work hard on your lyrics, you want them to be heard. So I don't do a lot of fancy trolling around.
What comes
Um,
first for you is love-wise, the lyric or the melody, or is it 50-50?
they come together if I'm lucky.
Right.
If I'm lucky.
Does one
It's
start first for you usually? Is it the lyric, then the melody, or the melody and then you add the lyrics to it?
the idea usually is a lyrical idea that might be just a few words, and then instantly I attach a melody to it. But sometimes I'll write out a whole poem or lyric and put a melody to it later. But if I do that, it tends to feel a little more forced.
Right.
So what I like to do is shape them back and forth. And so you have a few words and you put a melody to that, and then that melody suggests a series of melodies, and then you find the words to go with those. And it's kind of a back and forth. It's hard to talk about process because it
Mm,
makes you feel kind of silly.
right.
And also everybody does it differently,
They
you
do. Yeah.
know?
Hmm.
But it's an amorphous and mystical process because when you start thinking about music and you start thinking about words, they kind of go up in a thought balloon over your head and they start doing their own thing with each other. And
Hmm.
and sometimes you feel like you're just observing it happen.
Right,
And
exactly. It's
you don't want
just
to take credit for it, but
it's flowing through you, the energy. Yeah.
it feels like it is flowing through you, but in fact, it is you that's doing it, but you've gotten your influence through so many other places.
Yeah. You
And
are the instrument.
you are the instrument.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beautifully put.
Yeah, you are. What would you say if you look back, because you've done so much work in the industry and you've had an opportunity to work on a lot of different projects over the years too? What was like one of the first moments that was a pivotal moment for you that sort of got the ball rolling, the train on the track? People started noticing you, your sound, really liking it, and then your popularity, notoriety started to just rise as a result of people, discovering you.
Well, I don't know if I've been exactly discovered or if I'm
We've had a lot of people say that, people that have been around for decades too, that are like, well, I'm still waiting for that. Even though they've made it, they're still always like, well, I'm not sure.
well, I don't think there's an exact moment when somebody feels, you know, famous or discovered. I know for a fact that I am not famous. I think that I am gaining a little bit of recognition among my peers, which is the only thing I ever really wanted anyway. If more happened, I'd be happy about that. Um, but I would just say the minute anybody just puts themselves on stage in front of more than one or two people, that's the beginning of it. You know, that there was one moment I would have to say writing my songs and then deciding once and for all to go out and perform them.
Yes. How about recording them too? That's a whole other process. Do you enjoy that in the studio and creating the albums?
I do. I do. It's really a lot of work, and having been in film production, I was no stranger to it, so I didn't feel out of like a fish out of water or anything. But there is a lot that I don't know about it, and the people that I work with or have been working with are extremely experienced and very talented and gifted, and I would say also very patient with me because the learning curve is very great for me. There's a lot of things I don't know about sound recording, even though I went to film school. I learned about recording. I've been on many sets. I understand there's a protocol for how to do things, but I just don't know that much about it. So I'm happy to put myself in the hands of people more experienced than me. That doesn't mean I won't be questioning every single minute and challenging, every 5 minutes. And I think that could be frustrating for them. But for
Mm.
me, I loved it.
How about singing versus the songwriting? Do you have a preference? Do you like to be the songwriter, or do you like to also be the performer?
Well, that's a great question. Well, most singer-songwriters would say they're both. Today, somebody asked me, so, what do you do? Or why are you here at this conference? Whatever. I said, well, I'm a songwriter and also a singer. So I consider myself a writer first. But some people would say the opposite about me. They would say, well, it's your strength is your singing, and you just don't argue. I mean, it's very nice when people say that. So I just say, okay, I'll take it.
Right, exactly.
But I think of myself as a serious writer, and I'm hoping I'll always have that. Singing is, it's showbiz. It's not here biz. You got to look good. You got to have a show. You got to do, all of that. And maybe I'll do it for the rest of my life. I hope so.
That would be fantastic.
But it's having something to say that is more important to me. And then the expressing of it is, I wouldn't say secondary. It's just as important.
Yeah.
But it comes a little more easily to me. So maybe I'm less, enamored of it.
How do you describe the Leslie Evers sound?
Well, my singing voice, you mean?
The overall, the singing voice, but just the overall vibe.
I would say it's smooth and luxurious sounding. It's not edgy. I don't think I'm edgy. I don't sound particularly modern. I think I have my own sound. I don't think I sound like anyone else. If I had to compare myself with somebody, well, the people I would think of are so much better than I am that I don't know. But I've been strongly influenced by Joni Mitchell, as many women of my generation have. Strongly influenced by Laura Nyro, who I sound nothing like. Strongly influenced by my singing teacher when I was growing up, and the choir masters, and also very influenced by Karen Carpenter.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, if I could sound like that,
you'll appreciate. I was with this past weekend an icon, and what triggered me thinking of this, as you mentioned, Carpenters, had a wonderful time, and we're hoping, we're working on trying to link it up and connections and all, to have Paul Williams join us.
Oh, such a hero for me.
Isn't he? And he is one of the nicest guys on the planet when you chat with him, and he's approachable, he's passionate, he's exciting, he's affable, and the repertoire, the songbook he's created for so many other artists and himself is incredible.
It's incredible. I actually saw him in concert once at Feinstein's. Is that club still open in New York?
Now they call it 54 Below.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he did a show with Jimmy Webb.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I guess it was about 15 years ago. And somehow I smart enough to go get myself a ticket and go watch that show. And it was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. And the songs.
Oh, just, yeah.
Oh, my God.
He penned We've Only Just Begun for the Carpenters.
Yes, Rainy Days and Mondays.
Rainy Days and Mondays.
And Rainbow Connection.
Which is really incredible. And we just heard it on the air. I think it's Helen Reddy, right? You and Me Against the World.
Oh, did Paul Williams write that one for her?
You and Me Against the World. That's another great one. Believe it or not, Small World, I've co-hosted on PBS specials and things with Jimmy Webb's wife.
She's in broadcasting?
Yeah, Laura. Yep.
Right. What a
Yeah.
beauty. I haven't.
We've co-hosted several events. It's a very, very small world, isn't it? A
Mhm.
very small world.
Well, next time you talk to her, tell her that one of your guests worships her husband's work,
Jimmy
and
White.
he's been so influential as a writer.
Yeah.
Um, Absolutely wonderful.
Burt
And
Bacharach's another one too, and Hal
oh yeah,
David.
don't get me
Some of these,
started.
some of these names, right? Barry
Yeah.
Manilow, who now has Harmony debuting Monday on Broadway. Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
really? Tell me
Monday
about
on
that.
Broadway. It's a
Mhm.
fabulous new Broadway play. Matter of fact, we had one of the producers. If you go back in the archives while you're there in the hotel, just a couple of days ago, we had one of the producers on with us. Yeah, it's starting this Monday on Broadway, and it's a fabulous, fabulous Broadway play that they expect to really knock it out of the park. And then I've got another friend actually who is it's really exciting news for him.
Mhm.
He was the backup for on this Broadway show that's also knocking it out of the park. It's A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond Broadway play show.
So Manilow and Diamond are both having they both
Shows
have
that are on
musicals
Broadway.
based on
And
their music.
based well Manilow, it's a little bit different. It's not You're not going to hear Mandy and a lot of Manilow songs. There's
Mhm.
another take on it. Watch that episode and he'll explain, the producer will explain. It's a little bit of a different, I don't want to give it all away because people haven't seen it yet, but it's a really interesting take on music. And
What's
but
the
the
name of the guest on your show?
Tom D'Angora, he's a producer for
Okay,
Broadway.
let me
And
just
he was
write that
on.
down.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom Dangora. Okay.
Yeah.
Because of the pandemic, I haven't been able to indulge my other passion, which is theater and
Man. Play
and
going and
playgoing and musicals I love too, but I love serious drama. And uh, when Broadway shut down, it was a tragedy it
too.
was so hard for so many musicians
Completely.
because
Yeah.
singing became kind of illegal because it was killing
It's
people.
just right.
And
Right.
then you couldn't go to the shows and everybody, if you were a performing artist, it was so depressing
Yeah.
for everybody. And then things slowly lifted back
Slowly
up.
open up. And now people are
Nobody wants to remember those times,
no,
but
just
they were very close behind us.
they were close behind us.
They
So
really were.
my friend just found out last week he was the backup. So he was playing, there's the younger version of Neil and then the later version of Neil Diamond.
Mm.
And the play is doing very well. It's a beautiful noise. And
Mhm.
he just found out that he is now the lead. He just got the lead. He's been upgraded to the lead in that Broadway show, which
Wow.
is amazing. His name is Nick Fradiani.
Nick
And
Fradiani.
he won
Okay.
American Idol a few years back.
Oh, well, he's
He's
probably
from Connecticut. He won American Idol. And
uh-huh.
his father, who's also a musician,
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to get Nick on the show. He's just so busy, but I've known him beforehand. He actually sang at my birthday party. And when I hit like 15 years on the iHeartRadio station, he was there performing well before American Idol. And his father is a musician, senior, and
Mhm.
his father loves Neil Diamond, always has.
Mhm.
Nick has always loved Neil Diamond as well. So, how beautiful it is that he's starring in the Neil Diamond show on Broadway and it now has the lead. And he also got a chance to perform at the bitter end with his father. And that Neil played there often in the 70s. So, it's like a dream come true for him.
Working with your heroes is one of the great dreams that you can experience in show business, and it happens more than people
think.
It happens more than they think because it's a very small world.
Yes.
But if you're up and coming and you admire someone who's older and is still doing well, your
And now
chances of you're getting thrown into their path are higher than you think.
it's extraordinary, right?
It's extraordinary. And I know a lot of musicians who are now working with the people that they were idolizing when they were young. And all they do is just talk about how wonderful it was to be able to do that.
Yeah.
It's a thrill to be mentored by a hero. I got to tell you.
Who are some of your heroes?
Well, when I was really little, of course, I was in love with Julie Andrews, the great
And you worked with Blake Edwards, who was her husband. Right?
And then I ended up working for both of them. And that was an incredible experience. I really did, work for Blake, but she was there all the time. It was a movie that she was a star of. And the two of them could not have been kinder and more welcoming. Whatever you think she is, she's that and more. She's probably one of the most gracious people I've ever met in my life. And he was a genius. I was very fortunate to work with them. And then later, I went to work with a director named Bob Rafelson, who had created the Monkees.
Oh, yes.
I never met any monkeys. I wish I had, because I loved them when I was a kid. But going off and working for that man, it was just like, well, could this happen twice, to be working for someone responsible for all your dreams?
Serendipity, yeah.
Well, it happens a lot. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one.
Right, exactly. Never met one of the Monkees, but I did interview in my professional work, Buffy Ford Stewart, who's a wonderful singer, songwriter herself, and also a children's book author. She lives in Northern California. Her husband, who unfortunately has since passed, but he was one of the founding members of the Kingston Trio. And one of the famous songs he penned was Daydream Believer, which Davy Jones made popular. Daydream Believer.
I thought that was by Jon Stewart.
That's him. Buffy Ford Stewart's husband, Jon Stewart.
Her husband was Jon Stewart.
Right.
Well, that is one of the great pop songs ever written.
We filmed at her house, sitting on the white couches, and her dog was next to her, and the Grammy was behind us. She opened up her entire house to me and the camera people. I mean, every inch of the house. And he was also a wonderful painter. A lot of his paintings are on the wall, and she is still holding the torch for him in a beautiful, beautiful way, because he passed, not that long ago. But yeah, that was really, really cool. And she's a sweetheart of a person on every level.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
The pop music history in our country is so rich.
It's very rich, isn't it?
And it's inspiring, and it's full of levity.
That's right. Hey, gang, see, she knows the word I was telling her about love and levity, how I came up with levity. And we certainly need a lot of that in our world.
We need inspiration. And people need to know that whatever it is that they want to do, they should just go out and do it. It is never too late, but it's also never too early to express yourself creatively and to work on things. And to give yourself a chance to get good. Don't be disappointed if it's not great right away, because if you really like doing it, there's a pretty good chance that you have an aptitude for it.
Right.
And so
when did you realize you do?
Oh, I knew from very young age that I wanted to do this. I didn't know what other people would think, but I knew that I loved it.
Yeah.
And I do have kind of I wouldn't call it a funny story, but it's a sort of typical of sort of how my life turned out. When we were traveling across the country when I was a very little girl, we stopped in a gas station in Nevada. We were driving from Chicago to California when I was maybe 6 years old. And I went into the bathroom of the gas station and I started singing. And I was singing, I think, Do Re Mi from The Sound of Music.
Good acoustics in bathrooms, bounces off the walls. It's good acoustics.
I was sure that I was the best singer in the world. And so I stayed in there for at least half an hour just singing and chanted with myself.
Honey, have you
And
checked on Leslie? She disappeared. Where is she?
well, they did say that, but not until about an hour and a half later because they got in the car and they drove off while I was in the bathroom.
Forgetting that she's not in the back seat.
They just like bunch of kids in the car, and it was like the Home Alone where they just left and they forgot me. And they did eventually come back, and I was fine. There was no problem, but it wasn't great at the time. But it was just one of those experiences that taught me that I could lose myself in the moment, and good things and bad things can happen when you go away from the world.
Did anybody else come into that bathroom while you were in there singing for a half hour?
No, they didn't.
They were
No.
probably outside listening, going, who is that? That cleaning lady in there has got some voice.
It was, yeah, a 5-year-old. It was Nevada. I mean, there was nobody around. But that's just kind of an example of how we can get carried away with the things that we love. And, that doesn't happen to me. I don't get abandoned anymore for my passion. But,
Right.
But, it was kind of a defining moment for me.
So that's the singing part, but how about being the musician? What was the very first instrument that you studied?
Well, I wasn't allowed to have music lessons until I was a teenager.
Wow, it's usually the opposite, right? You're giving them early and you don't like them, and then
I wanted so badly to play the piano, but it was determined that I was too young to understand the importance of practicing and the seriousness of music. So I didn't get formal lessons until I was maybe 12 or 13. By then it was a little late because other kids had started sooner, but that didn't stop me from singing all the time and making up songs. I made up songs just singing them, and once I got a few chops on the piano, I started writing right away. And I got the guitar, learned a few chords, and started writing right away. And I can still play some of those songs. I won't play them tonight for you.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, if I could write something that good,
right.
But it was
cool.
Yeah.
Is the rest of the family musical?
Well, my father loves opera. He and my mother were very avid opera goers and supporters of the opera in San Francisco. None of my brothers play any instruments, but they all have a very good ear. And my father has a good ear. Nobody can reproduce pitch. There's no violinists or singers. I'm the only one. But I'm the only one who became obsessed with it. I think they all could have, honestly, if they wanted to. Definitely. Right. They're creative. They have very creative brains, very intelligent men, my brothers. But they just did other things. They didn't do this.
Do you like duets, collaborations, things of that nature? Some people like to stay solo. Some people like to be part of a larger group. Some people like to do collaborations and duets with others.
Well, I have a music partner that I play with, and he is a great musician. He has been doing this since a very young age, and I'm fortunate to have him want to play with me. I wouldn't say we do duets so much as just he's a virtuoso guitar player, so I'm fortunate to have him. We did write one song together, which I love. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that today, but I get a lot of thrill out of working with other people, but I don't do it very much. Probably because it's meditative for me. And once I get in that space, I don't really want input until I'm ready. And
I know what you
sometimes
mean.
that's not till it's done. you know?
Right. And sometimes even when it's done, you don't always want the input. It's like,
Sometimes you don't want
that
that yet.
took me 6 years, and that's all you hear is that.
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly. Feedback is it's funny when people hear something in your song that you didn't think
yeah,
of. But that's
right.
fine,
Right. Right.
you know?
Well, that's a beautiful thing about art. We talk about it often. You can listen to, well, at least I can listen to a piece of music, especially if there's a lot of instrumental, it's an instrumental piece, and you will hear, it's sort of that shock value. The first time you hear it, you're hearing it, you're sort of absorbing it for the very first time, the
Mhm.
nuances of it. Then when you hear it again, okay, there's no shock because you've already heard it. Now your ears and your brain start zoning in on it and sort of like picking up little things that you might have missed the first time when it was just coming at you. And then when you listen to it the third time, you really start to pick up other little nuances and beat changes and instruments you missed when you really dive in that third time. Like there might be somebody in a song and they in the middle of the song, the only thing that person does is takes the triangle and goes ding. But the first time you heard it, you missed it because you didn't. But the third time you hear the ding and the difference and the importance of that for the rest of the song. So it's just like going into an art gallery. We can look at a piece of art on the wall and everybody sees it differently, but then they attach their own life experiences, their relationships, their childhood, everything to that piece of art, their memories. And you may see that art differently. I may see it differently. There might be some things we see it together, but the artiste, the person who created that piece, they saw it a certain way. And then sometimes when you tell them, well, actually, this is how I feel about it. This is what I see. They're blown away. They're like, my God, I didn't think of that when I created it, but it's so great. That's what you're getting out of it. You're making my art sort of your own in your own way by relating to it. Same thing with music. I bet you hear that a lot from.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that does happen a lot, and what you say is 100% true. Very, very perceptive and commonplace, and in a good way. It's really what you want. What you don't really want is people going and then rewriting it for you and telling you that you should do it this way or that
No,
way.
that's
But they're gonna do that. That's part of the process, and you just have to
yeah.
accept that,
It happens
you
with
know?
authors with books too. When they send it to the publisher, it gets edited and writes film, all of it, as you know, as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did that for a living, told people how
Yeah.
to fix their scripts, and I mean, I
Ooh,
wasn't
yeah.
received very well always,
Yeah.
and
Editing too is another, the editing stuff that's on the editing. So many people are like, I was in that movie, but then I ended up on the editing room floor.
well, the editor is the creator, of the film
Puts
is
it together.
yeah,
Yeah.
who puts it together, but I really like what you just said. I mean, that really resonated with me. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What is it that makes you want to listen, like you talk about the first time you hear a song, and then the second time you hear things you didn't hear before, and then the third time you hear these little details, and then you start bringing your own experiences into it. What makes you want to hear a song more than one time?
Because I often say to everybody, I don't smoke, but music is my cigarette. Music for me, I heard it, I think, in the womb. And on Saturdays, my sister and I'd be playing in the bedroom, and we'd go into my father's record collection and those big wood, furniture stereos that they had in the living room with the big furniture television. And I would go in there and I had no idea what I was pulling out, these 33 and a third, LPs, and would go into the bedroom as we were playing Spirograph and Light Bright and chemistry sets and all these toys in the background. I always like to have music or sound of some sort because I think it keeps things flowing. And we would always have music on. Now, of course, we had what was on the radio then too, as 45s and such. But the LPs were like my parents, my father's.
You
Uh,
remember 45s?
sure, 45s. I never had 78s. Didn't have a
No,
controller.
no.
No, but
You look very young and doesn't look like you'd remember 45s.
45, sure, I remember them, and they're collectible too. Yeah, you can dig and find them. I have cassettes, and I still have my Onkyo stereo system, double cassette deck, big KLH speakers, turntable, and it's a beautiful
Cool.
sound. It fills the house because I like sound that bounces off the walls and sound that flows through the house. I love
Mhm.
that. And I don't know if this is interesting to you, but I also love music that doesn't necessarily always have to come at me, meaning the speakers are right in front of me and it's coming straight at me. There are
Mhm.
times when I love hearing music that's behind me. Like I'm facing this way and the speakers are behind and the music is coming up and sweeping over me, sort of enveloping me.
Mhm.
I love that. So yeah, music that's wafting through the house is fantastic. And so yeah, we would take the records and play them, and that's some of the very first music that I heard. And I was listening to the orchestras and the bands and just all. My father tended to lean a little bit more towards the Percy Faith Orchestra and the Andy Williams and
Yeah, the sweet strings bands.
all of
Yeah.
those fantastic sounds.
Mhm.
And where my mother, a little bit more Johnny Mathis and Elvis and the Righteous Brothers. And so
Mhm.
we had a mix of different sounds coming in. And then, of course, there was my own. So there was always music. And to the point where I love listening to it multiple times. I hear certain things that resonate with me multiple times. It could even be a TV theme, and I'll listen to it several times because it's got a certain melody or certain something that is gravitating to me. Christmas music, too, is something extraordinary. I say it all the time to everybody. These are like lullabies that we have heard. And I'm not talking about grandma got run over by a reindeer.
No, you're
More
talking
of
about the
"Oh, Come
50s,
All Ye
60s,
Faithful," the
not the
real
hymns, the
traditional.
pop songs, the Christmas pop songs
Those
that are
those those are the pop, right? Exactly.
that's
But
wonderful.
yes, the
I
pop,
love it.
and then the hymns, the beautiful hymns that angels we
Mhm.
have heard on high, and all of that, which you don't really hear on the radio that much anymore. They've sort of pulled that off the radio.
I
But
know.
when you hear that, it's like so familiar because, like I say, no matter what has happened in our lives all year long, here comes Christmas. Here comes Christmas. Here comes the music, the decorations, the food, the people, the family. Here comes that music again during that time that we've heard basically at least once a year, every year of our lives. And it's almost comforting, reassuring, stabilizing. The world could have been horrific during the 12 months, but here comes Christmas. Here comes that lullaby like music to soothe it, to bring us together. And it is like a lullaby. And so Christmas music is big to me when I hear it, vocal and instrumental, choral. You hear a lot of choral at that time.
Mhm.
Um, it's sort of like a very familiar thing that comforts all of us during the holidays.
Yeah, the
Long
holidays
answer to your
are
question, huh?
no,
But I'm
yeah,
sure you get it all. Yeah.
you told me what music means to you. And so you love the familiarity of it and you go back to the things that inspire you. And yeah, I do love the Christmas season and I love going back and listening to that music too. Those songs, they get you right away. And maybe it's because they have a context. I was trying to find out what it is that makes you want to hear a song more than once. And is it the hook? Is it the context? Is it the idea? And I think that what you told me is that you grew up in an environment where it was played over and over again. You didn't ask for it. You just got it. It just came over, it came at you in waves, and you got to know it without even asking for it. It just
It was
happened to
there
you.
was always music. Yeah, there was always music on in the house,
Mm-hmm.
and there was always like art and music and creativity. And uh, my mother very creative. My father always in the yard and working and planting, and the house always, the holidays, still even to this day, the holidays are an epic event at my
Mm-hmm.
parents' house. The decorations, it's an epic event that we look forward to. And it's interesting because I would take the music and, I didn't even realize I'm a kid, and I would play it so much that the records would get scratched up because there'd be certain songs that I would play multiple times because I loved hearing it so much. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the gifts that I did later on was to get it all on CDs and present it as a gift and say, Dad, remember when I was 11 and I took that fabulous album of yours out of the stereo cabinet and played it and scratched it all up, not realizing that you're not supposed to take the needle and go when you want to move to the next song. Well, here it is. Here it is, restored on CD for you.
That must have been
Here's
actually
Burt Camford and his orchestra.
very meaningful for him,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
because
yes.
those strong men that we know and we love, they have very sentimental hearts,
Yes. Yeah.
and music is one of the ways.
Music is a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous, it really just, it's a universal language. It is a healer. I say music and laughter are the two unifiers and icebreakers, and keeps people just feeling human in the way you know
I really hope that the world seems very challenged right now and very broken in so many ways, and there's a lot of acrimony, and not to mention war, all over the world, and in this country also, many wars being fought in a different way. And I just hope that over, I don't know, the next couple of months, people will find a way. Musically, that's how I would do it, but there are other ways to do it, to just find a little peace, and find a little time to spend with the family members that don't make you absolutely insane. And if you've got your parents, treasure them. If you've got kids, love them. And if you've got some siblings who challenge you, stay away from or spend less. Don't spend as much time as your mother would want you to. But it would be nice if we could have some amount of just peace for a
yeah.
little while. And sometimes Christmas just causes a contrast. It's like love and peace, but yet what's going
And
on is belies all of that. But
well, my least favorite day was the day after because the whole world forgets it and stops it, and then they take the music off the radio and everybody's back to road rage and all the usual stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, we just had this build up to one of the most iconic days because it touches on every sense there is, and then it comes to
Yeah.
a crashing halt. I'm like, can we extend some of that vibe a little bit?
Well, this
Typical
year, I
Libra.
think Hanukkah comes a little early in
It
December.
does. Yeah, it
And
does.
so Hanukkah's coming a little early. Christmas is always on that normal day, unless you're Eastern Orthodox, in which case it comes on the 12th day. So maybe we can have a kind of a longer holiday period. So anyway, that's my hope. I can hope away.
Yes,
I don't know if it's going to
exactly.
change anything, but
What
uh,
inspires you about music? Why do you do it?
what inspires me? Um, what inspires me to make it, or what makes me want to listen to it?
Both, yeah.
I would say, I think the opportunity of singing is probably the biggest one. Whenever I hear a song that I love, I always sing along. So whenever I hear music, it inspires me to create it myself. If I know a song really well, I'm not just going to sit there and listen to it. I'm always going to sing along,
Yeah.
starting in the car,
Yeah. Right.
and
Good acoustics in the car. Yes.
good acoustics in the car, and then a lot of camaraderie. Like, I grew up as a teenager in California. We drove all over the town with the radio blasting, singing, learning harmonies, driving through the drive-throughs and getting fast food, and never leaving our cars, but just listening to the AM radio. It was,
Yeah.
like American Graffiti, but a little later,
Right.
Yeah, definitely not quite that generation. But so for me, what's inspiring about music is the opportunity to sing along.
Yeah. Right.
And then if I couldn't
Exactly.
find a song I wanted to sing, then I would write one.
That's fantastic. Did you
Yeah.
sing in any faith-based settings over the years?
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons that maybe it didn't hurt me so much that I didn't have music lessons as a young child is that I was always in a choir.
Yeah.
So I went to parochial school when I was younger, and we had music and singing every day. So it's not like I was deprived.
No, you had it, right.
I had it all in my ears.
Good
and
training ground too to develop.
That was the training ground. It was the singing.
Right.
You've really touched on something.
Yeah.
I never even thought of it that way, Jim. But it was definitely in the schools. And
I'm always looking for links. I don't know why that is, but I'm always looking for things that link our lives, things that are links in our lives. And so many people say that to me all the time. They're like, I never thought of it that way until you brought that out. But you're right. That is a connection. I don't know what it is. I'm always searching for links when I hear people say something, because I'm a deep listener.
You are. You're a great listener. You're extremely perceptive. And I mean, having music in schools, I was lucky. I went to, a parochial school, a church school, but music in schools are extremely important. It's extremely important. And I don't know where we're going to have time to do a song because it's already over time, but
you have
Rick,
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
we
think
don't have
Rick,
a clock on it. You can
good.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Rick Ruskin, who is my music partner, he grew up in the
there he
public
is in the
school-
back coming into
Detroit.
He grew up in the Detroit public school system, which had incredible music programs. And look what came out of Detroit.
Mhm.
So
That's right. Fabulous music, of course. Pretty
so-
cool cars too, but fabulous music. Rick, welcome to the show. This is our special bonus guest joining us here.
Because I don't have
Rick can't hear you right now because he is not listening to his computer anymore.
So we're introducing him as our special bonus guest, and it's an honor and privilege to have him here.
We are introducing you as our special bonus guest. And It's an
Okay.
honor and privilege to have you here. Did I get that right?
You did. You're a good listener too.
No, I'm very
Trying.
happy. I'm very happy to be included.
Absolutely.
They can hear you.
Well, I know that.
So
I know
how
that, but I cannot
How
hear
did the
him.
two of you come together and
You're
meet?
not
How did that
sure.
happen?
Well, we were at a music camp together, and he was teaching, and I was being a student, which is my perpetual state. And I could never teach music. I just always am going to learn and play and hang around. Whereas Rick has been a full-time professional since the 60s, right?
I actually started singing for money when I was 9 years old.
Okay, so he was training to be a cantor. But
I
anyway,
wasn't, but don't get into
Don't get into that.
No,
But
He was doing that while we had the lemonade stands.
yes, we had the lemonade stands, and he was training to be a cantor. But what was my thread? I lost the thread.
I don't know.
You were talking about how the two of you first met.
Oh yeah, so he was teaching, and I was a student, and he started playing some Steely Dan songs, and he's obsessed with Steely Dan, and I also love Steely Dan. So we started singing together, and we just had so much in common musically that we just kind of hit it off. And then he heard my first record, and he really liked it and said that he wanted to work with me if I would be willing to do that. So I'm glad I made that first record. because
Yes.
that was that first record got me it got me along the path of doing this more full time.
I can't
I think
remember
it
my
was
dreams. Yeah.
people do like it. You
Yeah.
know, if they get a chance to hear it, it's very simple. It's simply recorded. It's not a lot of instrumentation on it. It's just singing and a few instruments, and it was produced by a wonderful jazz and roots player named Woody Mann, who died last year.
Mm.
And we all miss him very, very much. But he was brilliant, and he made this incredible production for me to showcase what it is that I had to offer. And boy, am I fortunate to get the attention of these people,
That's
these wonderful
fantastic.
musicians.
What would you like to play for us now, the two of you?
Well, I have a song that is in the American Songbook style. Since we're in New York, we'll do kind of a New Yorkie style
Cool.
tune, maybe a show tune style. How does that sound?
That sounds great. We love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is called Almost in Love.
Fantastic. Here we go. That's beautiful. That is
Thank you,
really.
Rick.
Thank you, Rick. That is absolutely beautiful. Wow.
Rick Ruskin, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely, Rick. Thank you very much. Did you want to do another one while you're there? You have
You want to do
time.
one more?
Oh, do we have time for one more?
Oh, we have time for
I thought
whatever you
said
want to
that-
do.
all
Yeah.
right. I
Sure.
thought there was only.
Do you
Nah.
want
One.
to? Do you think you can do when you've got it?
We use an hour as a reference, but there's no, yeah.
Whatever we do, we must tune up because your guitar went south on you.
Okay.
So, and I prefer to do Genevieve. If you
You want to do Genevieve? Okay. Or Pull Your Heart Away.
or Pull Your Heart Away.
I'm exactly in tune.
So are we doing Genevieve then? Or Pull Your Heart Away?
Let's see. So I've got kind of a rock song, or I've got a gentle song about my daughter. What are you in the mood for?
I'm good with anything. What are you feeling?
I'm feeling Pull Your Heart Away. I'm
All right.
feeling rock and roll.
All
Let's
right.
have a little levity.
Sure. On a
Levity.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. We already did the ballad. Okay. This is a cautionary tale I wrote for a friend of mine. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Things got a little hot. You're seeking some advice. What you asked for, you got, but you just found out the price. Pull your heart away. That's what you need to do. Pull your heart away while it still belongs to you. Pull your heart away. Now the wind is blowing cold. Your sweater is too thin. You ventured out so bold. You'd better come back in. Pull your heart away. That's what you need to do. Pull your heart away while it still belongs to you. Pull your heart away. Like a jump from a tower, like the petals from a flower, like the sea from the sand, like a bird from the hand. You're bound for land. He can only see the end. No matter how he acts, he isn't yours, my friend. Pull your heart away. That's what you need to do. Pull your heart away while it still belongs to you. Pull your heart away. Like a jump from a tower, like the petals from a flower, like the sea from the sand, like a bird from the hand. You're bound for land. After all I've been through, I don't want to look behind. What I saw was all I got, so I chose to just be blind. Honey, pull your heart away. It's what you need to do. Pull your heart away. There's so much more for you. Pull your heart away. Like a jump from a tower, like the petals from a flower, like the sea from the sand, like a bird from his hand. You're bound for land. You're bound for land. You're bound for land.
That is really, really nice. Bravo. All of our viewers around the world absolutely loving this. That is a beautiful song. Cheyenne Smith says, what an enchanting voice Leslie has. Simply beautiful tones. And Lovity from two new Lovities on the Jim Masters Show, Rick and Leslie. And Ms. Pat in Texas watching. She votes to hear this song about your daughter.
Okay.
She says, daughter.
Twist my arm.
That's it, right?
Who is asking? What is her name?
That was Ms. Pat in Texas.
Ms. Pat, I would
Texas.
love to do this song for you.
Tell us about this song.
This is a song I wrote when my daughter was growing up and leaving the house. And so it's a lot of my songs are about love, but as we all know, there are many, many, many forms of love. And when you become a parent, you experience a love that you didn't even know existed. And when I had kids, when I didn't adopt them, but I became a step parent, and I'm very attached to my children. I would say that having kids taught me how to love. So here's a song for my daughter. It's called Genevieve.
All right.
Okay.
For Ms. Pat. Let me just make sure my cable's on correct.
And Ms. Pat says, thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
That's like melted butter. That is really fantastic. And the two of you are so in sync with each other. It's really, really incredible. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. You know, you can see both of you are sort of transported to another place when you're doing your thing. What's happening to you? And I love when I see people who have a guitar in their hand holding it the way you are and the way Rick is. It's almost like it's a child. You know what I mean? You really think about it in a certain way, right? That's right.
I'm sorry, Rick was saying something. I couldn't hear what you were saying. Sorry. Yes, this is not that I do ads, but this is a Collings guitar, and it's called a Baby Collings. And it literally is a baby, and it's my baby in a way. So it's small, and it's really easy for me to hold. And it doesn't hurt my shoulder to play. It doesn't stress me because it's so it's petite like I am, and so it just melts into my body. For Rick, his guitar is an extension of his body, He's been playing for so long, and he knows this song so well. He's played it dozens of times, at least.
Yeah, and we can hear Rick's voices coming through. So if he wants to describe the guitar he has, he can.
Okay. Actually, Jim is asking if you would like to describe that particular guitar, or do you want to describe the guitar you?
No, this
composed?
guitar is a Martin OM, which the model is called, I think, an SWOM 16 GT or something like that. But what it is the SW stands for sustainable wood. So it's made out of cherry wood for the body and spruce for the top. Spruce is traditional. Cherry wood is not, but it's becoming used more and more because there's more of it, and it can be, they can, I guess, maintain these trees faster. Get them to grow faster, and it's it's a very nice guitar. It's like my travel guitar. It's like a midline Martin model. It is not. It is. It's one of those guitars that I wouldn't want anything to happen to it in my travels. But if something does, it is replaceable, and nothing else in my arsenal actually is. They're all one-offs, so never to be made again.
It's hard to find a guitar that is worth playing, but also that you won't cry for long if it's lost or destroyed. It's a very good guitar for that because it sounds fantastic. He put a lot of work into it, and but it's not, a costly or rare guitar, which is his normal
sentimental, emotional connection to it, right? Yeah.
Well, it used to be my guitar, and I was ready to throw it out the window, and I hated that guitar, and I hated the day it was born, and I didn't want anything to do with it. I left it in a basement in Idaho for 10 years, and he was like, "Don't throw it out. I can fix it.
I can bring it back to life." Yeah.
And he did.
Wow.
He did.
Does he sing too? Because he's got a great speaking voice. I don't know if he sings or does voiceover work, but he's got a great, tone to the quality of his speaking voice.
Jim is saying that you have a great tonal quality to your voice and wonders if you sing, and he does very
voiceovers
much sing.
Or
I actually do voiceovers as well.
He just
that.
He did not hear you say that.
I asked if he did voiceover work, so he does, huh?
Well, yeah. I have done a few.
Yeah, he's a singer-songwriter. He writes wonderful lyrics. He writes beautiful instrumental compositions that are played by students all over the world.
Yeah,
and he's been doing this quite a while. He should do his own interview.
I was going to say he's welcome
to.
Welcome to join us. This is like a warm up for him.
Yeah, this would be a warm up for you.
It's easy breezy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you did happen to have time to put him on your show, he would dazzle you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you both are now. Tell us about the forthcoming album, and congratulations.
Oh, thank you. While we were getting ready to go on, I went and pulled one of my only copies that I have right now, because they're not quite ready yet. But it's got 11 songs on it. They are all written by me except 2. One of them is a co-write between me and Rick, and I'm very fond of that song. I took one of his particularly lyrical instrumental compositions and put lyrics to it, and so now it's a song that we have together, and I absolutely love it. Yeah. And then the other is just a pure cover of a song written by my producer Ed Johnson, and it's a stunning song that I just could not help but I wanted to record it because it sings so well. But these songs are songs of, there's a hymn on it, which is meant to be inclusive to all people. There is the song Genevieve, that's for children, for my daughter. There's that cautionary song, which I sang for you. There's Almost in Love is on it. And let me just see. Sometimes I forget the songs I've written, ones I recorded and ones I didn't. There are some brand new songs I finished in the studio, and there are some songs I wrote in the 80s.
That's cool. And
Yeah.
this was sort of meticulously recorded, mixed, and mastered at the illustrious Second Story Sound in New York City, right?
Yeah, that's an amazing studio. A lot of wonderful people have come out of it, and the engineers who worked on my project are
Grammy winners.
Multiple Grammy winners. I mean, they probably, they've got to get another closet for their Grammys. That's how lauded they are. But when I first used them, they were just starting out, and so I really lucked into a great crew.
You worked with folks who mastered the albums and engineers who have worked with Harry Styles, Sting, Kelly Clarkson, the likes of Sting, John Legend, Lady Gaga, the Punch Brothers. I'm with her, Aretha Franklin. I mean, creme de la creme.
They make an amazing sound, and they made my album sound beautiful, and they really like it. They keep telling me they think it sounds good. So, well, we know it sounds good because they recorded it and mastered it. But I'm very proud to be associated with them.
And Ed Johnson, too, veteran composer, band leader.
Yes, Ed Johnson is the producer. Alex Wenger is the chief recording engineer and mixer. Oscar Zambrano mastered it. And it was recorded at Second Story Sound, which is a very cool hang in the East Village, which just has an amazing, relaxed vibe and very nice people working there and running it. And I don't want to drop too many names, so I'll just say they were awesome.
The album features collaborations with the guitar legends sitting right next to you, Rick Ruskin, guest appearances by vocalist, banjo virtuoso Joe Newberry, and singer-songwriter producer Cliff Eberhardt as his final touches on the song arrangements, highlighting your vocals and lyrics, right?
Yes, Cliff is a friend, and he came on after I was kind of in the weeds and wasn't really sure how I wanted to finish things. And he's a brilliant songwriter, and he could see things very clearly because I was very close to the project. And so he came on and helped crystallize the production to a way that made sense to me, and I think highlighted the vocals and the lyrics. And so I'm very grateful for that task that he performed for me. But everybody on the record brought their A game. And Rick specifically took some of these older songs I had that were piano songs and arranged them on guitar and breathed new life into them. And I'm very grateful for that because I love these songs, but I don't know if they would be able to live today as they had lived when I originally wrote them. And I do have a track on this record that was an outtake from my first record. I didn't appreciate it. It was a song called Little Bit Harder, and Woody Mann and I did a vocal guitar duet, and he improvised a lot on it. And I was just so dumb. I didn't realize what a treasure he had given me when he did that improv. And I was like, no, I don't want to knock on the guitar, and I don't want to do this and that, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't have been more wrong and had worse taste. And we ended up doing a great track that I love. But after he died, his wife said, well, is there something in the files that we can use for this new record? And I went back and I looked and I found this take. And I remembered how he had really loved it. And I just wanted something different or something more. And it was absolutely wonderful. We should have used it the first time around. Sorry, Woody, you were right. I was wrong.
Well, it's kind of like fine wine. It just sort of got better and better as it came along. And now it's on the second one, right?
Now it's on the second one. And when somebody's really that good, their work just starts to glow as age gets on it. And
Right.
I'm convinced that Rick's work is like that. I'm convinced that Woody Mann is his name. And if people would want to go out and seek out his recordings, he's a wonderful roots and jazz player, composer, and interpreter. And so I'm proud of that track, even though it's 10 years old. I'm glad to have something that I think is lasting. That's what makes me happy. And there were so many great musicians on this record. Will Gallison, the great harmonica player in New York City, did a brilliant job. Renee Wurst was the bass player on all the tracks of which I had bass. John Reichman, a brilliant mandolin player. Missy Raines did one bass track. Actually, she's a Nashville player and absolutely amazing. And John R. Burr, who played piano very sparely, which is the way I like most of my instrumental tracks. I just like them, here and there. Anyway, they were all wonderful. If I've forgotten anybody, they'll have to forgive me. There's so many people to thank. I don't know.
Well, you'll have the list at the Grammy Awards when you go up for the acceptance speech.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm just very pleased to have done this.
That's fantastic. What can people expect from it? What is the overall message? What's the vibe that you were hoping people would sort of absorb? Because again, this is sort of breaking news that this is coming out. They're getting like an exclusive announcement about it here on the show, which I think is awesome. What do you hope people are left with this fabulous album, Bound for Land?
Well, what I hope is that they will come away recognizing their own thoughts and feelings in the different kinds of relationships in their lives, whether that relationship be with a partner or a former love or a child or a spiritual relationship or hope for the future. I think of everything in this life as being defined by love and by pursuing things and relationships with people that fulfill you. And it's such a complicated topic. It's hard to talk about. That's why I write about it in this way. So I'm just hoping that my thoughts will resonate in other people's heads and they'll go, oh, yeah, that sounds familiar to me. So I just want to communicate.
Yeah.
And I want other people to feel what I'm feeling. It's a way of being less alone.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's a beautiful way to put it. And an important, impactful way to put it as well. I like to ask some of the guests, what are the blessings and joys in your life, you, and maybe also Rick, the blessings and joys that keep you wanting to do this, keep working, keep connecting, keep creating this fabulous music for the good of all of us?
The joys are purely getting feedback. For many years, I did it just for myself.
Right.
And that was a very pure joy, almost as pure as it can get. And then I realized it was not everything that I could be getting from it. And art and connection are intertwined together very deeply. And so that is why I want to do this now for people when I have the opportunity to perform for 1 or 100 or as many people. I don't mind. I want to be, in a community now, and I want to be playing for people, and I want to be hearing other people. And so that's why I'm here at this conference, and I'm hiding out in my room right now doing this interview with you. But when we're done, I'm going to go out to dinner. I'm going to start hanging out with my friends. So I don't know if that answered the question.
It really did. Yes. And that's, those are some absolutely beautiful, beautiful answers to that question. Has anybody said to you, I was saying, for the longest time, I'm saying, my God, She looks like somebody. She looks like an actress that I've seen
I
on
know who it is.
television.
It's Kate Mulgrew.
You know who I was going to say?
Oh.
Helen Hunt.
Oh, well, I wish I looked like that, but thank you.
Helen
Yeah.
Hunt. Yes. Does everybody see a resemblance to Helen Hunt, especially around the eyes? Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I've got that smiley, squinty thing going on.
I tell you, this was absolutely phenomenal. I appreciate all the time. And I know you're busy. You got to go out for dinner. You're at the conference. And what are you what are you hungry for? What are you hankering for?
Well, there's this Irish pub across the road, and they have
yeah.
something called a Irish egg roll, which I'm dying to try.
Ooh.
It's got cabbage and corned beef in it, all in it. That sounds very greasy and delicious. But that's what I'm hanging. And I have an old fashioned, and I think some Irish egg rolls. And I don't know what that sounds like to you, but it just sounds really good to me.
And maybe a scoop of mashed potatoes on the side.
Maybe. What do you want to have for dinner, Rick?
I have to look at the menu to be here, but I'm hoping to have it soon because I'm about to pass out.
He hasn't eaten much. He hasn't eaten much. It have been a very stern taskmaster.
He's hanging on to the guitar for stability.
He is. He is.
Well, this was phenomenal, and I hope, as I say to the guests, a few little things. I always say, I hope we get to meet at some point, East Coast or West Coast. We're here on the East Coast, and break bread. That would be fabulous. We will definitely keep the porch light on for you. I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and that you enjoyed the time with me as much as I definitely have with you.
Oh, met and exceeded beyond anything. I feel so comfortable, and I feel at home here. I'm deeply appreciative of your interest, and I hope that at least a few people will listen to my CD. I think they'll like it. I'm hoping that they will. I like it. And I'm very proud of it. And another thing is that the CD itself is the color of chocolate. Just so you know, it reminds me of yumminess. So
that is nice, huh? That is nice. That is beautiful. And that will, of course, be available Spotify, iTunes, all the places where music is, so people will be able to download and get the CD on Amazon and all that fun stuff, right?
Yes, it is being released on February 2nd, but I have 2 singles out right now. One of them is Almost in Love, which you can listen to on Spotify. And then there's another song called What Kind of a Heart. And that is also, that's more like a kind of a country flavored tune with Joe Newberry singing on it. Beautiful singing. So if you go to my Spotify page, you'll see 2 new singles, and go listen. And if you like it, keep listening.
Keep listening and keep supporting. It takes a village for sure, my friend. This was really special. Thanks for the great conversation, the levity, and also for entertaining us and playing some great music. Thank Rick for us as well. And Rick's welcome to join us anytime he would like. And again, you are welcome back, my friend. New friend made. And I'm so glad we were able to connect. And your music's coming out, that CD, just on the cusp of Valentine's Day. So it's something nice, huh? That's right. It's a CD all about different kinds of love. See, it's perfect timing. Yeah. And levity, as we say here on the show. Exactly. You go eat before Rick passes out. Okay. And this was an honor and a privilege and a pleasure. Spread the word about our show. If you know other folks you think would like to pop on, they're welcome to join us. And Leslie and Rick, a blessing to have you both here. Thank you so much, and have a happy holiday. And we'll get together in the city. I look forward to that, and thank Rick for me as well, and all of us here. And the viewers also saying some wonderful things. Cheyenne Smith, this was wonderful. Thanks so much for sharing your music. And Jane says, thanks a lot, Leslie and Rick, for being here with us tonight. Please come back. And more your way. Thank you, Jim. Good night to you both. Kathleen's in New York City. Thank you, Leslie and Rick, for being here and sharing your beautiful music with us. Sherry Larson's in Kansas. Thank you for joining us tonight. She's going to watch this again. She loves it so much. Merlin in Canada. I want to thank you very much for joining us in Lovely Hall. Leslie and Rick, your music is wonderful. Just a few of the comments from some regulars there we like to occasionally sprinkle in.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Touched a lot of folks here on the show tonight. You be well and enjoy that Irish egg roll. I have Irish in me, so let me know what that egg roll is about.
I will. I'm trying to remember the name of the restaurant. What's it called?
Irish pub.
Yeah, the Irish pub. Well, it has somebody's name. It's the name. I feel
he's so hungry. He is just. It's like start the car.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll get it to you. I would love to advertise it over the air because they really great
sounds
food.
Good. Sounds
but
good.
Thank you.
You are very welcome, Leslie. You take care. Let's stay in touch. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye,
right.
Jim.
Bye-bye.
Blessings.
Blessings too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Leslie Evers and Rick Ruskin joining us here. Rick was the bonus. He's a guitar legend, and we're so honored to have him here on the Jim Masters Show. Gang, if you enjoyed this episode, we would love it, and it helps us big time if you give a like. Click the like, thumbs up icon on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have. Thank you. When you subscribe, click the notification bell icon so you never miss any of the episodes. We'll send you notifications, and leave a comment on the YouTube channel as well. There's a little comment section that is underneath the actual episode. Interact with us. What did you enjoy about this episode and this conversation and the music? How did it impact you, touch you? Who are some of your favorite artists? Do you love music? What is it you love about music? Drop a comment, say hi to us on our YouTube channel in the comments section. We would appreciate that. We love that. And we're very interactive here at the Jim Masters Show Live. Thanks to everybody for all the fabulous comments. We really, really appreciate it. And thanks for all the levity. You can find me on social media as well at Jim Masters TV on Instagram, Twitter, which is now X, and also on Facebook as well. Leslie, of course, there's her website. And this was something quite exclusive because the album is coming out in February. And there are songs that are out right now, which is really, really exciting, which you are able to download and purchase and enjoy. And I think that's really something very, very cool and very, very special. So check that out. And you can stream the signal, What Kind of Heart, which is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful song by Leslie. So cool stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know. We'd appreciate that. Like, comment, subscribe. Come see us again. Just a couple of programming notes for everybody that's here watching live, because, you know, we have a live audience that watches faithfully. Tomorrow, we are back for the live audience. Those who watch our series in the archives, you can see this live or you can see it afterwards. We're going to take you to Scotland. We have an oh, wow. Look at that. That popped up first. This is coming up on November 20th. Yes, Emmett Cahill, a world acclaimed Irish tenor. I've interviewed him many times on PBS. He's coming on the Jim Masters Show live for the very first time in the afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific on November 20th, Monday, November 20th. We just booked this today. And coming up next Friday, a week from today, Mairead Nesbitt, Grammy and Emmy nominated Celtic violinist and composer, originally one of the founding members of Celtic Woman. She's also with Celtic Spells. She's been in Rocktopia, and she is with us. This will be her third time here on the show. She's making her trifecta return visit coming up next Friday. Matter of fact, she and I are going to be on the stage, sharing the stage at Carnegie Hall on December 8th for a fabulous holiday concert with our good friend Tim Janis and so many wonderful friends. And Mairead and I have known each other for years. I've interviewed her also on PBS. We're good, dear friends. We've done a lot of things together, and she's coming back on our show, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. Tomorrow, we're going to take you to Scotland, and Femi Gao is going to be with us. She is an acclaimed, extraordinarily talented Scottish harpist, pianist, singer, songwriter, composer, and also music director and recording artist. And she's going to be coming to our show exclusively Saturday at this time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Write it down. 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And it shall be, I believe it's 7 p.m. in, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. It's 7 p.m. in the UK and Scotland, where she's going to be hailing from, Ireland, all in through there. So in the UK and that time zone, it'll be 7 p.m. for everybody there in Ireland, Scotland, the rest of the UK, England. And it'll be 11 a.m. for our Pacific fans and viewers. And it'll be 2 p.m. in the afternoon tomorrow. She's also going to play live. And she is extraordinary, very, very well known. She's joining us. So she is tomorrow. And Mairead Nesbitt is next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and many other fabulous guests in between all this. And then Emmett is going to be with us, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, on Monday, November 20th at a very special time. This just happened today. They reached out to us and said, absolutely, because we've had, I think, all the other guys from Celtic Thunder on our show. Emmett is going to be here. Going to be cool. We're working hard behind the scenes to give you variety, to give you entertainment that, sort of excites you, and inspiration and laughs and all the cool stuff that we have happening with all these great guests from all these different, career paths and inspirational stories, celebrity friends and guests that come in from all around the world. And it's all for you. All of it is for you. I enjoy doing it, hosting and producing it. The guests love being here, as you can see, but it's for all of our faithful viewers, JMS Lovity viewers, near and far from around the globe. Some of you we hear from, some of you are quiet and you just watch, and some of you contact us privately off the air. We get thousands of messages every single week from our viewers, thousands of messages, which is sometimes it's tough to keep up with them all. We try to answer as many as we can, but we thank you for the love and support of our show. If you'd like to support us, of course, there's a heart icon. You see it underneath all the episodes of the YouTube channel. If you click the heart icon, that helps support what we're doing here as well. And that's that. So thanks, everybody. We're very excited to have all of you here. We've got some absolutely wonderful guests coming up. We've had many guests. You can see them in the archives. There's over 1,000+ episodes so far and counting. You can enjoy. Miss Pat in Texas, I know I can see the smile all the way there in the Lone Star State as you got the song you wanted played for you live, only here on the Jim Masters Show. Oh my, wonderful. She says, yes, Mairead is wonderful. She's a dear friend of mine. Kathleen, I introduced her to you. Remember, we had, did we have some dinner and drinks at the Russian Tea Room in Manhattan? Remember that fun night, Kathleen? That was cool. She's going to be back with us as well. Thanks, everybody, for all the wonderful comments and all the rest. You say thanks for another terrific show. The pleasure is all mine. And we'll see you again soon. All right, we're going to scoot out. It's a pleasure to have you here. And we'll be here tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And that's 7 p.m. in the UK. Come check out this fabulous artist. She's going to play live for us. Miguel is going to be here. Scottish harpist, pianist, singer, songwriter, composer, and so much more right here in Lovely Hall. JMS, the Jim Masters Show Live. I'm host Jim Masters. Thank you for your time this time. Till next time, love one another. Take care of one another. Don't forget to love yourself. And come see us again right here, the Jim Masters Show Live. Love you all. Take care and be well. Cheers.